set, and hopefully people come in and watch. Uh, the tent right now is a mess. I got stuff that needs to get taken out of bags and sorted and placed and organized, but I have to be quiet, especially this next few days. Uh, so I'm just gonna have to live with it and deal with it until I can, without worrying too much. Uh, I was gonna address an issue, and I'm not gonna ramble too much about it because I thought about it after I made that short about an hour ago, an hour or so, and you know what? It's not really worth spending a whole lot of energy on, but I will address this. The gentleman commented on the video I made with electric, getting electric back here. First of all, the light poles that are in direct line out front of the apartments, the apartment pays for that. And the landlords don't disclose that to them. But I've made it known to this person who is a friend of mine, and he gave me permission to use it. So you see, I wasn't stealing at all. I had permission. Sometimes you just gotta know all the facts before you start accusing. Uh, I can't stand ignorance. I don't tolerate it in myself, and I don't put up with it too well with other human beings because ignorance is just a step lower than stupidity in my book, because some people can't help being stupid. But ignorance is something you can drown out with a book, by educating yourself somehow, some way. And even if I was stealing, I've done absolutely nothing to these people. Nothing. My old boss brought me from 40 hours a week clear down to he wasn't even, I was barely getting 15 hours. And I begged him on several occasions, please give me more hours. I can't even meet budget with this. And instead of adjusting or allowing me to get the hours I need to live, he fired me. And then if that wasn't bad enough, just for more hours. Uh, he told the landlords to not work me. Here's the messed up part about that is he doesn't accept every job they have available for him. So I approached the landlords and said what he doesn't want to give me. When they walk on a job site with us there, he's standing around supervising. I'm doing 85 to 90% of the work. That right there, common sense ought to tell you that that means I'm capable of doing the work. So why not work me? But instead they blacklisted me. That prevented me from paying my bills. That prevented me from getting behind on rent. And here I am. It's a survival situation now. So even if I was taking that electricity, I don't feel one iota bad. The person that commented the negativity not only spoke out of ignorance, but he seemed pretty self righteous to me. And if he'd watched my other videos, and I keep reiterating this, in a survival situation, you do what you gotta do. Now I won't steal, and I can't stand a liar. And like I said, I got permission from my friend to use the electric that he pays for, not the landlord. So now who's doing illegal stuff? Me or the landlord? It's the landlord. He's using the tenants to pay for security lights, outdoor security lights. That should be his bill, not the tenants. And then finally, I'm sorry if I'm not as good and righteous as you. Hey, how you doing? But you know what? I'm pretty sure you're not a mistake-free man. I'm pretty sure you're not as righteous as you want to think you are. Because you know what? At the end of the day, unless you're Jesus Christ, you're not. Now, we're going to move on to bigger and better things. Because I will not let your negativity and your self righteousness beat me up. It was hot that day and night in this tent. And I got a four legged friend, a four legged family member that needed relief. That fan helped that baby sleep. That fan helped that baby cope with being hot. So I'm going to do what I need to do for that and to relieve his stress and to make life easier for him because he's innocent. He don't know what's going on. And yes, he is family. To those of you don't that's never owned a dog or don't like dogs or then you're not gonna get what I'm saying. I need to chop wood today. My stove for my heating up my water for my coffee is fantastic. It worked out just fine. Here in a little bit I'll walk you guys outside and show you what I did. I made some more home improvements. You know, I was gonna come in here and ask to see if I couldn't get a solar generator from anybody. But you know what? I thought about that too before I came on. I don't need that. I don't need to make myself super comfortable back here. Just comfortable enough to bear the blunt of what I'm going through and my pup. Because if I'm that comfortable back here, I won't leave. This is nowhere near what I have in store for the rest of my life. And I guarantee you, God doesn't have that in store for me either. He will move me onto a higher plane on His timing. But until then, I still gotta survive. And it's not just me. I got somebody in the boat that's dependent on his captain to get him by. And I will do just that. There's this box that we've all been dumbed down to put ourselves in. And I'll say this, even Christians, especially to Christians, God is too big of God is too big for this box that you want him to fit in. So stop. Doesn't the Bible say my people perish for lack of what? Knowledge. What does that knowledge do? That knowledge will help you get out of that box. And that knowledge and that wisdom will help you realize God will never ever fit in that box. My God, the true God, the creator of everything, is bigger than that. Stop putting him in a box. Please chime in and comment, guys. Don't be shy. Okay, that's why I went live and that's why I turned comments on. And share. Help me get to what I need to on this channel. Help me to grow this channel. And it will be with number one, God's help, and with y'all participating. Like, comment, share. And if you're new to the channel and you vibe with my situation, with what I'm doing, with what I say, subscribe, please. It helps me. Because as soon as I get to that 500 mark, I can start making money off YouTube. And although I don't care particularly about money, but the bottom line is it's a necessary evil. But I can tell you this, we are headed for a beautiful new world, and it's coming right around the corner. I can't elaborate on that anymore than that. But I gotta tell you this, I'm what you would call a conspiracy theorist, and I wear that badge with honor and proudly. Did you know that the term was coined up by the CIA? Sorry, guys, I gotta deal with planes and trains and automobiles. But CIA coined that phrase in the late 60s, but I'm wanting to say the early 70s. I think 1971, 1972. And it was to discredit, to make look stupid, to make look crazy. The ones that could see the truth, the ones that could read between the lines and see what was really going on. See, I see what's really going on. So I will be labeled crazy and probably delusional. But you know what? I don't just do what I do at the end of the day and go home and plop down on the couch and then be satisfied with all the evils around me, with all the what this current situation in our society dictates that I should be satisfied with. I go home and I research because I want to know the truth. Don't you hate it when somebody lies to you? Why would you like being lied to? I wouldn't. So I'm going to research. I'm going to make sure that what goes in here is truth. Because you know what? Truth is powerful, truth is liberating. Research. There's things that are not right. Our so called freedom is nothing but mere privileges. That's why they can charge you for traveling. That's why they can charge you for fishing, for hunting. No, true freedom is uh, chargeable. And the Declaration of Independence, that's exactly what that was just a declaration, a declaring, an announcement, an announcing, hey, this is what God gave me, and you guys are supposed to leave it alone. They are unalienable rights. They weren't given to me by this document. They was given to me by my God, by my Creator at the time I was born. There's so much. There's so much. Uh, might go live again tonight, but let me walk outside and show you what I did. Show you my home improvement. And you know what? I don't want to get that comfortable in this situation. I just want things to go easier than what they have to be. A true sovereign, a true human being, a true person created by God should have in his mind to be as uh, oh, self-reliant as possible. But a fool doesn't ask for help when he needs it. So I'm asking for your help just by getting this channel out for me. And by the grace of God, it will eventually happen. But until now, whatever I have to do to make life just a little easier, it's gonna happen. So let me take you outside, show you what I did. There's my pup scratching. I gotta put this medicine on his neck today. Right here, it's about due. I gotta think because of the situation I'm in to protect him from fleas and ticks. So a little bit later on, I'm gonna be doing just that to help my baby out, and he is my baby. That's my pup. I got my clothes and towel, deodorant out. As soon as the lawn guys leave, I'm gonna go ahead and boil some water and take me a wash up just like I did yesterday. How I set it up was just beautiful and worked out just fine. I also got to cook for my baby and get him fresh water. But let's step out here, show you what I did. And I gotta be real careful while these lawn guys are still on the property. So give me a second, guys. last night I set this bucket out and it's got water in it. Well, I set that bucket right here is a cut vine and it acted just like a gutter system and it rained a lot. I got water for cooking and bathing, fresh rainwater to give to my pup later. But as you can see, I got these pads, concrete pads, and yeah, they're from my apartment. I bought them, so just in case the self righteous guy is watching, they're not stolen. I bought them because they neglect their duties as landlords here. They're deadbeat landlords. They make $70,000 a month just in this complex. And all their sidewalks are twisted and torn and busted up. Their thresholds are stooping, and they don't want to spend the money to get them raised and get these sidewalks. They're tripping hazards. I'm surprised their insurance adjuster didn't tell them to get it straight. Because God help them, the wrong person trips and breaks their butt, especially in the wintertime. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but they will get the tar suit out of them. My what I showed you yesterday, there's my uh, can of Sterno again, but it made my coffee water just perfect. It turned out just perfect. I'll continue to improve on it. And here's my grill again. Things are working perfect. Here's my knife sharpener. And by the way, yes, I am a survivalist. I've always been for as long as I can remember. This is my knife. I stir soup with it. I process skin with it. I process meat with it. I process wood for fires with it, for shelters with it. Fortunately, I ain't gotta go that extreme here because I am in the city. But when I was out in the Rockies, in the Sandra de Crystal Mountains, yeah, my kabar was everything. If I was set out in the wilderness, the only two things that I would have to have is my knife and the sharpener. Everything else can be made with this shelter, fire materials, hearth boards and spindles, uh, shelters, everything. And this kabar is beautiful. And I like kabars. I love kabars just because they're well balanced. It makes, because of that good balance, it makes for a really good throwing weapon also. Anyways, I put some stone pavers right here. Here's my log. Nowhere in the Bible am I supposed to be somebody's punching bag. So if you're that negative and that self righteous, it's funny. Your phone can do just like your TV. If you don't like the channel, scroll on by. A mature person will just scroll on by. An immature person has to leave their negativity to try to put somebody else down. Think about it. And while you're questioning my level of intelligence, you miss the gist of my channel. If I was way out in the wilderness, I'm going to be transparent. I want every bit of knowledge I have about survival to go to others because I'm a strong and firm believer in if you know something, that could help somebody else and you don't put it out there, that's a travesty. I know how to live in that type of environment. Here in a city environment, life's just a little bit easier, but there's still a survival aspect of it. And I'm trying to get it in your minds that when it comes to survival, when it comes to making it another day, I'm going to do what I have to do. But with that being said, I also have a restraint. I'm not going to hurt innocents. I'm not going to steal because a thief and a liar I have no use for. So before you accused me of that, you should have done your due diligence. You know, wasn't it Mark Twain that said, it is better for the world to think you're a fool than to open your mouth and confirm it? Hmm. Doesn't the Bible say, judge not lest ye be judged? Hmm. Interesting. Well, anybody that watches this, I hope you like and share, comment. If you're new to the channel, like I said, if you like my vibe, subscribe, please. And I think I'm going to start putting out there our military men and women. My wife and I, we love you to death. Whether you're active or retired, you deserve the best. My hat's off to you. My daddy was 18 years in the United States Army and did 7 tours in Vietnam. A finer example of how to be a man about your business I've never known. But my dad taught me. My dad taught me. He showed me. He didn't just say things with his mouth. He showed it through his actions, with his actions. And I'm thankful and grateful for that. Now, how one of my siblings turned out so different and opposite, it's uh it's amazing because we grew up with the same dad and grew up in under the same roof. Uh, but my sibling, I'll just keep it at that. He'll climb a pole for a lie and he'll leave the truth right on the ground. He goes, he bounces around from uh, relationship to relationship like a NBA basketball during the playoffs. No, as I live and breathe, as I was born and clear to the time I crossed that great river, closed my eyes for that long sleep, I'm gonna live and die like a man, but so that I can live with myself and so that I honor my God. I am gonna live my life with honor. There's nothing honorable about a liar, and there's nothing honorable about being a thief. So again, I say, before you opened your mouth and spewed that negativity, you should have learned first. But instead, you made yourself out to be a fool. So I got no more holler for you, but I do hope and wish the best for you because you're not a good you're not in a good spot in life. When another grown man tells me I gotta restrain from this and this in the situation I'm in, I'm gonna tell you again, whatever I have to do that my family lives, that's what I'm gonna do within the boundaries that God has given me. Not you, not the police, not some judge, not some self righteous ex boss or his minions, my ex landlords, but I will do whatever I have to do to make that happen. And with that in mind, once I don't have to be so quiet and stealthy, I'm going to walk you guys through plant identification for medicine. If any of you watched my shorts, I've done some. But even the ones that I've shown you so far, like the opium lettuce, well, that's what we call it down home. But here, I think up north they call it milkweed, mullein, white pine. Uh, there's a lot more that can be taught and said by that. And now that I can do lives, I will. I'll teach you how to identify friction fire materials. These are long lost arts. They're not just it's not just a talent. It's a lost art, a skill that our forefathers needed to live. We are so spoiled today. So spoiled. We live in a world of instant gratification. And you know what? That's just not how life works. When we get back to the fundamentals, to the foundations, then things will be better again. Because you know what? At the core of our foundations, at the core of our founding, God was in the center. So when we get that straight, it brings us back to God. And when we get God back into our lives, back into our societies, back into our country, then we'll start heading the right direction again. And I thank God for President Trump. I believe God put him in there. And things, mark my words, and I'm not going to divulge in any further uh, stuff about it, but just take my word at it or do your own research. See if I'm telling the truth or not. You should always do that. Any word at his word. And we don't even have to do it for work and pay and money. We can do it on a bartering system for things I need. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you need things done, I can do door and window replacements. I can do whole bathroom and kitchen remodels. I'm a heck of a plumber. I've got every bit of, gosh, 35, 40 years of HVAC in me. I'm not certified. I can't do the code side of it, but I can replace your furnace. I charge $25 an hour to replace a furnace or to fix or add or subtract ductwork. I'm very good with metal, very good. There's just, and I'm not beyond doing the mediocre stuff. It's called work. It's something I want to do. It's something I've done for the majority of my life. I'm not scared of hard work. I welcome it. By the sweat of your brows can you enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you need something done, I'll cut grass. I'm a very good landscaper. I've got a lot of things under my belt that I know how to do very well. But I'll do it with honesty and integrity. And I'll always talk to you before. If you want something done, I will give you an honest professional opinion on what might be bad about it and what might be good, and let you weigh out the good and the bad and go from there. But at the end of the day, it's still your home, and I'll do my best for you. And I won't go to Lowe's and get lumber and mark up the price. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you do that to people, anyways? They're giving you work to pay your bills and feed your family. Why would you do that to people? I've never understood that about contractors. I'm I'm going to be grateful for the work I get. If you need it, please hit me up in the comments box. I don't know if you guys. I'll have to check it out. This face or this YouTube stuff is new to me. See if my email is available. If not, I'll start putting it in the comments. And let me know. Let me work. I want to work. That's how I'm going to dig myself out of this mess. And that's what I want to do is a desire for me to work. I'm a worker. If you need something done, let me know. If all you need is for me to come clean your driveway, hey, when I was younger, I traveled all over these lower 48 states. There was more times than I can shake a stick at when I mocked stalls to give me a few bucks to move on down the road with. I'm not beyond. I'm not too good to do this or that. Just ask me. And if you got a lot of property, would you be interested in coming up off an acre, maybe two, to have a live in on site maintenance guy? I'm fair to middling with appliance repairs too. If I can't fix it, I'll tell you. If I know, not if I think, if I know I can fix something, I'll let you know. Because at the end of the day, I need you happy with my work. I need to be happy with my work. My work and how I perform it and how I do it and how I interact has to reflect my relationship with my Creator, with my God, to bring Him honor, to make Him smile when He looks down on me. So that I can hear, not from you, not from the President of the United States, not from some cop or some judge, but from God. Well done, my son. I'm done jawing. I gotta get uh, this day started and get things done. And it's gonna take every bit of skill I've got to do it without being seen today. I gotta collect wood first and foremost because he needs food. And I don't know if YouTube will let me yet, but if any of y'all would be interested in buying me a cup of coffee, a fool doesn't ask for help. I could use it. It would help me to buy stuff like food, like toilet paper, like cans of Sterno. Let me know. I love y'all. Thank you for my subscribers that went on and subscribed. Thank you for the ones that comments and likes and shares. And once again, if you like my vibe, subscribe. Help me out. Help this channel to grow. I promise you won't be sorry. For now, redneck patriot out. How do you stop the lies? I haven't the slightest clue. This is new to me, guys. There we go. Figured it out.